Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Now I will tell you the story of later years of my stay in Ahmednagar, and I remember that Erich's wedding was performed at Akbar Press, and at that time I had typhoid and Erich's mother had very severe attack of asthma. So we were not going to participate in the wedding ceremony. And beloved Baba had come for 5 days of the ceremony which Zoroastrian people have. Lot of relatives had come from far and near, and lot of things were happening. But Erich's mother and myself could not enjoy the good cooking that was done for the wedding because we were both sick. So every day before serving anybody, the food was served to beloved Baba. There was a small cottage of 2 rooms where Baba would come early in the morning before any ceremony started. Then he first would come to see me and Erich's mother, and then we were left alone in the house. Rest of the family was out in the pandal. But after Baba had finished eating his food, he would specially save some food and his drink and would come from the back door of that bungalow near our bed. He would sit with us and he would give us little bit of his leftover from the plate. And he would tell, you both should not try to eat it until and unless I serve you, because it is not good for you. And then we had our own plates and own glass, and Baba would give us in that and pour little drink of his leftover, and we both used to enjoy. Only that much food we could eat. Rest of the things were just sick food, whatever was given to us. Anyway, and the wedding got finished. Baba would go every day in the evening at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever he decided to do, and come back next day. Baba would stand in the doorway of that small cottage and watch every ceremony that was going on in the pandal. And it was very, very pleasant, though we did not participate. But there was such a happy atmosphere in the bungalow. Bungalow full of relatives and friends, but we were both sleeping on a huge bed together. Anyway, everything got over. Then beloved Baba called the wedded couple to his cottage and blessed them. And he said to Erich's wife, who was my first cousin, Erich is also my first cousin, and the other couple who was married, they had exchanged brother and sister with each sister's children. Like Erich's mother's daughter was married to my other aunt's son, and that aunt's other daughter was married to Erich. So it was a very, very pleasant atmosphere. Anyway, And then beloved Baba left. Then later on also Baba used to keep on coming to Akbar Press, and every time when he came, he would specially walk into the house and greet my aunt who was bedridden and my sister and brother who were also crippled. He would greet them so lovingly, so lovingly. And then, after he has done that, he would bring some work for my uncle to be printed, because it was Baba's things were printed in our uncle's printing press. And that's how he would keep on coming. Any circular has to be printed, any messages have to be sent to the Baba lovers. He would get them printed in that little press. And that's how we used to get to see beloved Baba very often. And he would come and he would discuss his work with my uncle for some time and then have food in the family house and then depart. Sometimes Baba would like to have his lunch in a very, very shady atmosphere in our garden. It was like a pandal of weeds and very fragrant flowers called green champa, and the mats were spread on the ground. The food would be taken from the kitchen into the garden, then placed around beloved Baba. First Baba would serve himself in his plate, and then he would tell us all to come and take their share of food. He would give us with his own hand whatever the food was cooked. And we used to love that picnic-like food. Sometimes my aunt had a very huge farm on the road of Arangaon. And Baba would say, I'm going to come for the picnic. When the crop of maize used to be green and sweet, not yet very ripe, that is called pong. At that time, people take big pots of yogurt, different kinds of chutneys. Then we take big eggplants with us, raw eggplants. And when that thing was roasted on the stick fire, they would throw the eggplant into the fire and it would get roasted naturally. And then what we would do, we would skin out the eggplant and crush it, and then we add those tasty, spicy chutneys and just make it into and put yogurt into it and eat it with that freshly baked maize, which used to be very sweet and green. They would rub that maize on their palm and blow out the husk out of that. And then it would be put into a big plate-like thing. Anybody wanted, they would take. So we had small plates with eggplant and yogurt in it. And then we used to sprinkle those maize, green maize roasted thing into that, and we would love eating. Baba also loved eating. And when Baba used to be very, very pleased with the food, I had noticed that he would lick his own fingers after eating that morsel. That means he's really satisfied. And our Indian custom is not very much into, like, you can't lick your finger or things like that. So we used to have gala time and on the farm. And for many years we all enjoyed. Sometimes when the crop of sugarcane was ready on the farm, because it was 10 acres of land, 10 to 12 acres of land, where all the things used to function. So after the juice is taken out from the sugar cane and it has to be made into jaggery. Jaggery means dehydrated sugar juice, and it becomes like toffee. And then they pour that thing into a bucket. First they covered the bucket from inside with very clean gunny bag like thing, and the juice is poured into that and made to keep getting cold. And when it becomes solid, they remove the gunny bag out and cover it up and stitch it up. And then it is taken to the market. And Baba liked to eat that freshly cooked sugarcane juice on a maize stick. My cousin used to take the maize stick and roll it into the sugarcane juice which was getting it done. And when it is kept for a little while, it becomes like a lollipop and you can eat it. It is very tasty. Nothing can be compared like chocolate or anything to that. Freshly done things have real flavor to the thing. And then after enjoying everything, Baba would come with his mandli, men mandli usually, and then depart. But he would always take some share of what we all enjoyed in the tiffins for the ladies who had not come for the picnic. And Baba used to be very loving and very, I can't explain. He was so open to the family, just like one of the family. We all respected him a lot. And if there was anybody sick in the family, we had to every day notify Baba morning and evening of the situation of the patient. And then he would guide my uncle, who was homeopath doctor, that he would ask what treatment you are giving, and my uncle would write that what is given to the patient, and Baba would send, okay, carry on. Means he was very intimate with the family, very intimate. Anyway, then Baba went for the new life. Before going to the new life, Baba had come to Akbar Press, and he said to we were all gathered in a big room, and Baba said, I'm going for new life. I'm not going to come back. I was very talkative as a child. I said, no way, Baba, you can't keep away from us. You will come back. I assure you, you will come back. Baba said, swear I'm not coming back. Then I would say, we'll see, Baba, we'll see. And Baba went on his foot from Ahmednagar for the new life. with the ladies as well as men mandi. And I don't remember all the places where beloved Baba visited, but it is in Baba's books. All the Bhauji has written about the new life, and there are special books printed for the new life. And then after Baba's work was finished, he came back. And then we were so happy, so happy. We were all called to see him. Baba gave darshan and we all went. So when it was my turn, I told him, didn't I tell you you can't stay away from us? You will come back. And we used to make lot of garlands because we had two huge gardens in front of our Akbar press. So we used to get big basket full of gardens. And my cousin sister, myself, my sisters, my aunts, we would all sit in the evening when it was plucked before the flower opens. It is like about to open a bud. And then we would make garlands with our hand without using any needle poking the flowers. And so that it lasts for more than 24 hours. And we would wrap them in nice old cloths wetted and then send them for beloved Baba. Baba used to love the fragrance of flowers. It used to be champeli, mogra, jai or chui. We had all these kinds of flowers growing at different times of the year. And whatever crop would come, my aunt would always send the first bags of that crop, the fruit, the vegetables, to beloved Baba. Every morning there would be a person going from Mehrabad to Mehrazad with the post or any necessary messages to be sent to beloved Baba by Padri. So that man would stop at Akbar Press and take whatever we give them to take for Baba and his mandali. That way we were all the time in the contact of beloved Baba. When Baba was away, now what could we do? Baba was away, so we couldn't send the garlands to beloved Baba. But the trees would keep on giving flowers. So what we decided that, okay, we had so many pictures in Akbar Press all over. It was a big house and we used to put on garlands on the pictures. Not only Baba, there were pictures of Christ, Krishna, Zoroaster, all 5 Sadgurus, then Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and we would make the house look very pretty, as if we are offering all that to beloved Baba. And that's how we finished the period of new life. We would go to school, we would come home, do whatever we were told to do, and the life used to carry on. In 1949, end of December time, one of my younger uncle who was to be married in Bombay. This is the uncle to whom Tajuddin Baba had saved in Nagpur. When this uncle was just 7 years old, he was a small boy staying with his parents in Nagpur, and he had bubonic plague. My granny, being a Zoroastrian, never liked Muslims. And Tajuddin Baba had in his mind, he would come and sit at the doorstep of her house. Just sit. He would sit as long as he wanted to sit and then go away. And my granny would beg, Baba, please don't come and sit at my doorstep. Please don't come. But she didn't know who he was. But when my uncle got bubonic plague and he was about to die, doctors had come in the morning and said, Ma, your child won't survive till evening. So she put him into the center room, which was cool, because Nagpur is a very, very hot place. And she just spread a white sheet on the floor and put the child on the floor because he was burning with very high fever. And that day, she had to go and cook for the other children who had gone to school, who would be coming home for lunch, and her husband, who had been to his work in the mill. He was also going to come for lunch. And the child was half conscious, half unconscious, lying on that bed sheet. And that day, Tajuddin Baba did not sit on the doorstep. My granny was in the kitchen, which was at the other end of the house. So she didn't know what was happening in the other room. And Tajuddin Baba came. This is what my uncle told me. He came, he picked him up, and he opened his mouth and pressed his two thumbs into the tonsils, like cavity, and those glands just burst out. He immediately picked up the child by the 2 feet, like a rat, and he pressed his throat, and all the pus and the blood came out of his ear, nose, mouth, and he was in very much pain. So he cried out. So hearing the sound of the child's cry, mother came running from the kitchen to see what is wrong with the child. When she came, Tajuddin Baba was holding the child upside down. Everywhere it was splattered. And he orders her, Mother, your son is not going to die. I tell you, he's not going to die. Go and get fresh sheet, fresh clothes, and don't forget to bring ashes from your stove in a plate. So she went inside to get all the things that he had asked for. By that time, he had done what he had to do. This child must have felt very relieved, no pain or anything. So he went to sleep. And then when my granny came, she told me that Tajuddin Baba told me to put the fresh clothes aside, and he cleaned everything with his own hand, even the child and anything that was splattered, and then spread the sheet on the ground and made the child comfortable. And said, you need not worry about this child. He's not going to die. I have done necessary things which have to be done. And I tell you that uncle of mine lived for 75 years. When he was very sick in the hospital, he narrated this story to me. I used to constantly go from Pune to see my uncle in Bombay. All my uncles had loved me very much because I was the only child in the family who was hale and hearty. Otherwise, one brother and two sisters of mine had progressive dystrophy. Anyway, this is how Baba took care of his lovers. Then my father, who was a railway driver, was married to my mother, who was from Nagpur. And she came and stayed in Bombay with my father. Her brothers were very, very young, had no job. So we had a nice big house of 5 rooms in Dadar. And everybody got nicely, comfortably fitted in that house. My father took care of his brother-in-laws, and my mother was very good in nature, and she helped all her brothers to get job somewhere or the other and start their life. My uncle, who had plague, was the manager of Monjini restaurant in very posh locality in Kulaba. And Baba lovers used to bring confectionery, chocolates. They used to make delicious chocolates. That was British time. So 42, 45, British time. So whatever chocolates or confectionery had not got the real shape which was needed to be sold was so given for little money to the workers who were working in that restaurant. So every day, or maybe I don't remember. Anyway, my uncle used to bring good pastries and good chocolates which were deformed. We did not mind like children. We know only to eat, whether it is in good shape or in bad shape. Children like sweets. And that uncle was also very, very sweet. Very sweet. For many years after his wedding in 1949, I stayed in Bombay with all my uncles to study my course of London Garment Diploma. For 5 years I was staying with them. And during that period of my stay in Bombay, there was Sai Baba's very near disciple by the name of Kamu Baba, who was staying in the suburbs of Bombay called Goregaon. And somehow I got connected to him, and he told me that he wanted me to write a letter to beloved Baba. Whatever he would dictate, I would write and post it and send it to Baba. And whatever the reply used to come back to me, I had to take that reply to Kamu Baba and read in front of him, and he would again dictate me another letter. So I was doing postman job for quite some time when I stayed in Bombay. But afterwards, Baba wanted Kamu Baba to go to Baba and stay with him in seclusion for 1 month. But Kamu Baba did not agree to go to Nagar. He kept on saying that Sai Baba has given me orders to stay in this compound and not to go out anywhere. so I'm sorry I can't fulfill your wish. Baba had sent 3 times the car all the way from Pune to fetch him and bring him to Nagar. But he just kept on refusing. And when I had finished my studies and I went to stay with my aunt Gai Mama, Erich's mother, which Baba told me I must stay there now permanently till he gives me more orders. And I had to work there as a helper to Erich's sister, Baba's cousin Naja, to cook Baba's and Mandali's food to be sent wherever Baba was staying in Pune for his summer vacation. And Baba would come to Bindra house also very often. And he would eat lunch. Then that time we didn't even have a radio in the house. Nothing. We had a gramophone which we had to wind. And the only records that we had was Chutika Roy and some good bhajans of different people. And Baba would listen to them, stay in the house and go wherever he wanted. He would even come to watch cricket match which used to go on in the Pune club. There was only one big club where the cricket match was played. There was another club called Turf Club, but there the race horses used to go on. But this is the place where the cricket was on. So Baba would come to watch the cricket match. Sometimes he would come with Gustardji or some mast, and Baba would put the mast in the garage. We would make that place really comfortable for the mast and Baba to work with the mast. And Gustardji would stay in the house or wherever Baba orders him to stay. And one day I remember Gustardji had come with Baba and the mast. And then Baba also wanted to watch the cricket match at the Pune club. And Senior Adi had got new Chevrolet blue colored car for Baba. So he had come with Baba and all of them with the mast. And Baba wanted to go and watch the cricket match. So Gustardji, Erich, beloved Baba and the mast, they all got into the car and went to see the cricket match at the Pune club. And at that time, Senior Adi was very, very young and he wanted his car to be parked in a very nice place where all the people could see. And Baba said, no, this is not the right place. We should go in that corner of the backside where there is nice tree shade and we will watch from there. No, Baba, it is okay. We'll see from here also. There is a nice view of the match going on. Baba said, I don't know. Then what? The mast wanted to shit. And Gustardji is running around in the area to find paper to clean his backside. And Adi was so embarrassed by the scene of the mast and Gustardji, and Baba was laughing, turned pink, and Adi was very, very angry. He said to Baba, "Why didn't you tell me that such thing would happen?" Baba said, "Don't blame me. I told you to take us in the corner and you wanted to be in the public. So I don't know. It is up to you now to have the embarrassment." Anyway, then when they came home in the afternoon for lunch, now Gustafji is very giggly because he had silence given by beloved Baba. So he could not speak what had happened. And Adi did not want to tell the family what had happened. And here Gustafji and Baba both are laughing and laughing and laughing before lunch. And so Gai Mama said, "What happened, Baba? Why are you so happy?" So then now Gustafji starts doing all sign language and he tells us. And Adi now tells us by speech what had happened. And then we all also started laughing. And then they all had their lunch and went back to see the match. But when they went back in the afternoon, they had left Gustafji and the must in the garage. And Adi and Baba went to the match and they returned when it was over. So Baba used to be very particular about his orders. If we just miss here and there, then we are put in the soup. And Baba used to get enjoyment in his work. Baba's universal work, he alone knows what he did. He alone knows. But Baba was very specific and very strict about his work. Yes, very, very strict. Beloved Baba was undescribable avatar of this age. Jai Baba.